Welcome back to Winter Day 9 and 10 of the Stardew Valley Min-Max and 100% Perfection Guide. Today, on Day 9, we are waking up at the island farm, which will allow for a very early start to the volcano, where we will gather lots of loot and resources. Then, on Day 10, we'll head back to the volcano for a quicker ascension, and finally enchant our galaxy hammer. We'll end that day back at the main farm, cycling our Starfruit wine kegs and crafting lots of new kegs too, with all the wood and oak resin we have gathered. For now, let's get started with Winter Day 9, where we are waking up at the island farm since we did pass out on the island, and I did probably play this day consecutively, so there was no bug that got in the way and made me wake up on the regular farm. Our chest was quite full, but I did try to cram as much as I could in the chest to leave as much inventory open for our volcano run here. And we're starting off on the first floor. We are going to make good use of bombs this time in order to get lots of rocks. And I do want to actually blow up the regular rocks as well as the ores, of course, because I am trying to get a bat fossil to donate to the museum. As you see, we got a journal scrap here. This one just kind of tells us how the forge works. Basically how forging with gemstones is for weapon modifiers, and enchanting can be done on any tool and gives a unique bonus. And you'll see here we're spending quite a bit of time trying to slay this lava lurker, and that's just for the dragon teeth really. The lava lurkers don't have a monster slay completion bonus or anything, so not for that or anything. But the dragon teeth are very valuable because they are used in warp totems, but mainly because once we get 5, we can trade them to the island trader and get a banana sapling, which I do intend to do today. So I am going to hope for lots of dragon teeth, although they are quite rare. We've made our way to the second floor now, and it is a monster floor, sort of. You don't really have to slay all the monsters like in some of the mines floors, but you do have to step on the switches. And I really am just killing some of the monsters. I don't really care about the slimes too much, although I do still need to work on the slime slay goal, but those can be found anywhere really, and it's probably easier to grind in the regular mines. The magma spirits, which are only found here, I will be focusing more on. And right here, you'll see the better method of getting dragon teeth, in my opinion, is the forgeable ones. They can sometimes appear near these dragon-like bone structures that are just for decoration, but the dragon teeth are very nice. They count as forgeable items, surprisingly. So the gatherer forging bonus, which gives a 20% chance of a double harvest, actually applies to the dragon tooth. And we did get lucky there and triggered the double bonus both of those times for the forgeable dragon teeth and got a total of 2 from both of them, making a total of 4. And then plus the one we got earlier, we're now at 5 dragon's teeth. So we can afford a banana sapling now, which is very good because we will need bananas for the warp obelisk eventually, but also we need some bananas for a shrine in the jungle where we place a banana on the altar and then get some golden walnuts from that. So bananas are important to get early on, so we will make sure we do that. Of course, we'll need mangoes eventually for the ship everything and a cooking recipe and all that good stuff, but bananas are the main thing we want to get done early. And then we'll probably get a mango sapling from opening a golden coconut using the geode predictor. We're almost at the halfway point at floor 5, and you can see I am taking my time to slay all the magma spirits because we will want to work towards that monster slaying goal. We won't spend much time here, but I will smash these crates as the robots can drop some gems, but more importantly, the crates and robots can drop golden walnuts, although I may have already gotten the maximum amount of golden walnuts I can get from them. I'm not really sure yet, I haven't been keeping track, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and smash the crates and slay the robots because it really doesn't take that much time at all. And something that I don't know if I've really talked about, but right here, take a look at my right click on the hammer. The right click is the smash attack, and it's really the reason why the hammer is so good, because you right click and it smashes, and not only can hit multiple enemies at the same time, of course the swings can hit multiple enemies at the same time too, But more importantly than that area of effect bonus from the smash is it multi-hits enemies. It can hit them quite a few times at once, which of course the more times you hit an enemy, the more damage you're going to deal. So it really makes quick work of enemies. Like right there, you can see it hits the magma spirits a few times as opposed to the swing attack. And it's really not as effective against magma spirits because they do get knocked back quite a bit, but things like slimes and these hotheads that don't get knocked back a whole lot, and you can push against rocks, you can just kind of corner them, use the smash attack, and it hits them a huge number of times for a huge amount of damage, and it really is the most effective way of slaying enemies, which is why the hammer is so good, and why we will want the artful bonus, because it makes the cooldown half, so we can use the smash attack twice as frequently. And the other thing we'll want to do with the Galaxy Hammer is use rubies to increase the damage output, which I do believe is more effective than emeralds, which increase the speed, because the emeralds are nice to increase the speed when you have things like slimes that can get cornered easily and you can swing your hammer at full speed, but against things like the magma spirits, which you'll hit and then they'll get knocked back a bunch, you can't hit again right away because they're far away, so you have to wait for it to come back, and at that point it's just better to have increased damage than increased speed because you're not going to be swinging your weapon at full speed. So I do think the rubies are probably more worthwhile. Since the emeralds are good with the speed, it might be effective against like slimes and stuff. I might put on one emerald just to have that increased speed because it is nice and it does help with accuracy. Like say you swing and miss and then you can swing a little bit sooner than you normally would, so you might hit it instead of like the serpent flying into you, for example, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But I think I might put on one emerald, 2 rubies. It really does come down to preference, but I think that's what I'll be going for. And one more thing I should probably mention about the smash attack is it is pretty effective. Whichever button you have for the smash attack, when you press it, it's good. But right here, you'll see I press the smash attack button and like right away, almost at the same time, I press the regular attack button. For me, my special smash is right click on the mouse and my regular attack is left click on the mouse, so I'll just use my example for this. So you right click and then like instantaneously left click. So not at the same exact time, you have to right click first, but then you left click and just kind of spam left click, and it kind of does this thing where you just hit the enemies like a whole bunch of times at once, more than you usually would from just a regular smash attack. I'm not really sure how to describe it in its entirety. I think it's something you just need to try out and kind of get the feel for yourself, but you basically input your smash attack button and then right away spam the regular attack button as much as you can, and you'll notice that you can hit enemies quite a few more times than you normally would and deal more damage than you normally would. But anyway, we're continuing our ascension up the volcano. I'm still bombing rocks pretty frequently because I do think that these rocks in the volcano, I could be wrong, but they do seem to give quite a bit of more stone than normal rocks in the mines. I think that might be part due because these rocks in the volcano might guarantee stone. The ones in the regular mines might just have a chance at stone. And then the stone nodes, of course, in the regular mines guarantee stone, but I think these might always have a possibility of dropping stone, maybe even multiple per rock. But anyways, we've reached floor 9 now, and these magma caps are very nice to heal up. They restore pretty much full health, and it will be nice to have some insurance just in case we get hit by any of these booby traps, but they are fairly easy to avoid. One way is to get really close to it, trigger it, so that it goes, and then you can just walk right through after it triggers, and then some, like that last one, you can just walk straight through because it's got a big enough length where it'll trigger and not hit you as you're walking through. The traps that are coming up may be a little bit tougher to avoid, but we'll see what happens when we get to them. There is a basic chest that we can get to. It looks like the button is a little bit hidden. You can kind of see it behind this crate right here. We will smash the crate, step on the button, see what we get from the chest, and it's 5 pineapple seeds, which isn't too exciting. Not the worst thing we can get from a chest, but it's okay. And yeah, I sort of just kind of let some of the traps hit me without too much care, just kind of walking through. but you can see that a good method is to just stay far to the left where the traps are going to take the most time to hit you. So yeah, just walk as far to the left as you can through it and just go straight through and you probably should be fine. Although the traps really don't deal all that much damage, so you really don't have to worry too much as long as you have some health. We have made it to the top, and I will put a ruby on my galaxy hammer now. And it looks like I made a mistake earlier. It looks like I ended up putting 2 emeralds on the galaxy hammer in a earlier video, which can be argued to have not been as worth it because I do think that increased damage from the ruby might be a better choice. But the one thing with the emeralds, and the reason you may want to put 2 emeralds on as opposed to just 1, is the first emerald gives +2 speed, and the second emerald actually gives +3 speed. And if you did a third emerald, it would give another +2 speed. So you can argue that it's worth it to put on 2 emeralds since that second addition gives an additional bonus speed. In situations like this where the enemies don't move, the speed is probably more beneficial than the damage, but there are plenty of enemies that get knocked back, and the ruby will probably be more effective in those situations. So right now we're going with 2 emeralds, 1 ruby, but maybe in the future I will change up the weapon modifications. The gems that I certainly won't use is amethyst, which gives more knockback. As I mentioned, knockback is probably actually a bad thing. Topaz, which gives more defense, which is not really useful since we can just heal. And then aquamarine gives more critical hit chance, and jade gives more critical hit damage, which can be nice when you get critical hits, but again, critical hits are kind of an RNG thing, so it's not as consistent as a damage increase from ruby, which is just a straight damage increase, and emeralds of course are straight up weapon speed. So let me know in the comments what you all think are the best weapon modifiers, because I could be wrong, but I would probably say ruby and then emerald are probably the best weapon modifiers depending on the situation you are in. But anyway, we have finished our long and lucrative volcano ascension, and we're now back at the island farm where we will dig up some space here to plant some of our taro tubers, which we have collected quite a few of now. These are basically just free crops since they grow without any need from sprinklers or to be watered if they are planted next to the river. So we will go ahead and do that. It looks like we have some weeds on the farm that destroyed one of our starfruit crops, which is a bit unfortunate and sad, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and swipe those, get rid of those. Then we'll get all of our stuff organized and head on over to the island trader. Like I mentioned earlier, we have gathered 5 dragon teeth, so we can trade those in for a banana sapling. I'll also pick up some pineapple seeds with my gold star magma caps just to get rid of those, and I'll save the iridium star magma caps for healing. And then I do trade the 5 dragon teeth for the banana sapling, which we'll want to plant as soon as possible because it does take a month to grow like most fruit trees. So unfortunately, this means we won't be able to get the island warp obelisk until spring of year 2, but that's alright. I did get a mummified bat, so we can drop it off at the island field office here. I do think it'll just give us 1 golden walnut, but it's still worth it because we do need to get every single golden walnut eventually. So we do get another golden walnut from there, and then we'll head on over to the dig site to see if there are any resources we can gather. There are a few rocks and stuff, but more importantly, there is a panning spot, so we'll go ahead and pan that to see what we get. Hopefully we do get the tail, the fossilized tail that we want, but nope, just iridium ore, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and warp back to the island farm, get our inventory organized, try to organize this chest a little bit, bring what we can back to the farm with us, warp back to the farm, and then I'll go ahead and skip over all of the inventory managing and of course all of the farm chores. I did have a few hours left in the night, which I spent doing all of the farm chores, such as tending to the greenhouse, all of our machinery, smelting, cycling the cheese press and egg press and recycling machines and seed makers and all of that good stuff, which will bring us to the end of this day. We'll go ahead and sleep and move on to winter day 10, which is going to be a super good luck day. We will be doing a quick volcano run, so that'll come in handy for that, but we will skip over getting our inventory organized, a few farm chores like petting the animals, but we'll deal with some of the other farm chores later, like those forageables that are ready. But we will go ahead, and since we have the stingray we caught a while ago, we're going to drop it in our newly built fish pond because they can have a chance to produce dragon teeth, which is a rare resource, so we are always going to want more of those, so having stingrays in a fish pond is a good idea. We head to the island, and we get a lucky ring from panning. So that is pretty good. That is pretty good luck right there, getting a lucky ring from that. We also get an artifact trove and a golden coconut from that artifact spot. So we're already off to a really good start with the super luck day, so that's very nice. I did bring all these gifts because we do have the island resort open now, so there will be some NPCs visiting, and I do already know which ones will be since I did play through a little bit of this day until the NPCs arrived at the island and just waited until I saw what NPCs would come. Then I could write the list of them down which do come, figure out what items I'll need, and then restart the day for the actual day where I bring all those items and have them ready to give. While we wait for the NPCs to arrive, we're kind of just foraging the island, gathering resources that it has right now, digging up the ginger and all of that good stuff. We did mine a muscle rock that gave us a golden walnut, so there's a good chance I've gotten up to 5 golden walnuts from those by now, since we have gotten a few from them before, so I'm probably capped out on golden walnuts from those. And after dropping our items off in the chest, we head over to the dig site where there are some artifact spots to dig up. There is unfortunately no panning spot, but that's more than okay. We've already had plenty of panning luck just by getting the lucky ring today at the start of the day, so that's very good there. We'll eventually get the fossilized tail, but for now, we'll head over to the island field office and drop off some fossilized legs. The big animal does require 2 of those. And after that, we'll be heading over to the volcano for a very quick volcano run. I'll probably rush through the floors a lot quicker than usual, which we'll see from this first floor. I'm really ignoring the enemies and ores even. If there are like iridium or cinder shard nodes, I will of course mine those and blow those up if there's a bunch of rocks around them. And for the enemies, I'll mostly ignore them, but since there is a bunch of magma spirits right here, I'll go ahead and slay them, since they do drop cinder shards and they are a monster slaying goal. But then after that, we'll go ahead and fast forward a bit to the 9th floor, which is the trap floor that we saw in the previous day. And this time there is a rare chest, so hopefully we'll get something good from it. We'll see in a second after I shuffle my inventory around. And we do get a dragon tooth club, which is technically a bit better than our galaxy hammer, but we have upgraded the galaxy hammer already, so we will be sticking with that, and eventually we'll be able to make it into the infinity gobble. So anyways, after that, we kind of just took damage through the trap sword, not really caring, and we're heading straight up to the forge. Our goal is to get artful on our galaxy hammer, but we are only on the 4th iteration of enchants, as we can see from the predictor right here. So we will enchant our sword with vampiric, and then enchant it once more for haymaker, which I'll keep on it to get more hay and fiber, and then we will enchant the infinity hammer to get vampiric, and then enchant it once more to finally get artful, which is what we want on it. And then we'll finish off the enchants by getting archaeologist on the hoe, as it'll help us get more artifacts to finish off the collection if we need. The only tool that is left for us to enchant is our fishing rod, which we will do when we get more cinder shards, and we will probably get master on that, which just gives another fishing level, which definitely is useful. Now that it is a bit later in the day, all of the NPCs that come to the island today should be here. So we have a pepper for Mayor Lewis, we'll go ahead and give him that. Then over there for Elliot, we have a pomegranate. Then for Sebastian, we have a void egg. But first we'll go ahead and pan, as there is a panning site right here. Just some copper ore and taro tuber, so not too exciting. But we will give Sebastian that void egg that we have for him. And of course, since we're giving all the NPCs gifts, we might as well talk to them at the same time to get an additional 20 points of friendship. We gave Caroline a summer spangle, and then we'll head on over to Pierre, who we have an eggplant for, which is only a light gift, but Pierre doesn't really love a whole lot of gifts, so it'll have to do. I did forget to grab the duck feather for Leo, so we might do that later, but for now, let's real quick place down the banana sapling, and we'll place it right next to the wall there just to save on space. And then I will grab that duck feather for Leo, but it does look like he is missing, so maybe he went to his hut in the jungle, although I'm not really for sure if he went up there or went up by the volcano, so I'm just going to go ahead and forget about it for now, warp home, and go ahead and get my stuff organized. I'm grabbing a survival burger too, because we will be chopping down some trees and harvesting our oak resin at the tree farm, but it looks like first we are met with a cutscene. This is Sebastian's 4-heart cutscene, which is triggered by going to the mountain between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. He's working on his motorcycle, and he will be asking us if someday we would like to go with him, and whichever choice we respond to, agree or disagree, it won't affect friendship in any way. Then the cutscene will fade out, and we can head up to our tree farm. There is an artifact spot that we'll dig up real quick, but it's unfortunately just a lost book for the library, which we don't really need any of those for any reason. But we are at the tree farm now. We're going to go ahead and collect tons of oak resin. There is quite a bit of oak resin here, so we should be able to craft a bunch of more kegs with that. Now we'll go ahead and eat the survival burger for the +3 forging buff. Start chopping down a bunch of trees here, which goes super quick with the swift enchantment that we have on our axe. And we do have some additional tappers to place on the trees here, so that the next cycle we can get even more oak resin. But more importantly, we do need tons of wood for kegs. Each keg requires 30 wood, so we do have to collect a whole bunch of more wood, because I do think we have enough iron, copper, and probably enough oak resin now, but we'll always need more wood because wood is required in so many things, including kegs and also the tappers that we need for the oak resin. So we are gathering as much wood as we can, and hopefully we have enough now to craft plenty of more kegs. After tending to the tree farm, we'll head back to the farm. Of course, we'll eat a spicy eel to get rid of the foraging buff and replace it with the speed buff. And now head back to the farm. We'll skip over getting some stuff organized and cycling machinery. Then we'll go ahead and craft as many kegs as we can. We are limited by wood, as I thought, and we are able to craft 60 though, so we'll go ahead and grab the Starfruit. Then we'll head over to the bus stop and begin by placing down some of our new kegs to fill the actual bus stop area here first. Then we can go ahead and cycle them with all of our Starfruit that we have. And of course, the most effective way to do this is to hold right click while we're placing the Starfruit in the keg, and the ones that do have wine ready will be harvested at the same exact time. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 right there, saves plenty of time. Then we'll go ahead and harvest these 2 additional oak trees we have right there. I kind of use those one as indicators. I want them to be synchronized with the tree farm, so that I can tell all of the oak tappers will be ready when those 2 are ready, rather than having to walk all the way up to the actual tree farm. So it's kind of just a handy indicator right there. We're now at the back area of the bus stop, and what's nice about this area is we don't have to worry about NPCs at all. They never come back here, so we can place as many items down here as we want. I think the most effective way is just to place the kegs in 3 rows like I am doing like this. The one thing we do have to be careful of is I think some of these kegs might be obstructed of once we unlock Robin's new shortcuts upgrade around the town. I think some of these kegs might accidentally get destroyed, which we might see later on. I can't remember completely, but I do think something happens like that. As you can see, as I'm placing down the kegs, I'm having a little bit of trouble by placing down some in my way, and I do have to move the horse out of the way in order to be able to fit back here, because the horse can't fit through the one wide gaps going horizontally like this. But we are able to completely fill this area up with kegs now, which is nice. I think I will get rid of the kegs that are right behind this tunnel right here, because it is kind of confusing whether or not the wine is ready since we can't see the indicator. So I'll go ahead and dig that up real quick. And as you can see, we didn't even collect the Starfruit wine from there. And I remember last time we accidentally skipped over it, so it's good to just not have kegs right there, I think. And then we will start placing them in this tunnel here, which is another section where no NPCs ever come, so it's free estate for our kegs that we'll go ahead and take advantage of. We don't have a whole lot of kegs left, so we'll just place them and cycle some starfruit in them to get those going, and then we'll go ahead and head back to the farm. I will go ahead and skip over getting everything organized, and then we'll head out because there is 3 hours left in the day that we want to take advantage of. So I will grab a pumpkin and go ahead over to the sewers, give it to Krobus, and then we'll pay another visit to the mutant Bug Lair, which we haven't came to since we had the quest to get the Dark Talisman. While we're here, I'll show off the new sword with the new Haymaker enchantment, and you can see we are getting a lot more fiber than we normally would, and we're also getting some hay, which you normally don't get from the fiber nodes. So it is pretty nice. I'll also slay the bugs to get some bug meat from them, which is actually the main reason we are here, because we have the Juicy Bugs Wanted quest from Willy, the Special Orders quest, which we do need to collect a bunch of bug meat. So of course, while we're here, we'll collect the fiber as well, and after we do a whole sweep of all the bugs and fiber nodes, we'll catch a slime jack from the lake, since that is a unique fish we need for the catch every fish, and it can only be caught here. So we'll see that a bit later, but we are getting to the end of this day now, and the end of this video. Next time, we will finish gathering the juicy bug meat to complete Willy's Special Orders quest. And speaking of juicy, on day 12, our melon on the island farm will have grown, and we can pay the Bombo Big Gorman Frog a visit in the island farm cave to get 5 golden walnuts from the wheat and 5 golden walnuts from the melon. That's another 10 golden walnuts, which will put our total at over 100, allowing us to access the Mysterious Keys Golden Walnut Room, unlocking lots of new possibilities for challenges and some unlockables that will greatly help with min-maxing and perfection. If you are looking forward to all of that, please consider subscribing so you can be sure to see the videos when they come out. And I would love to hear from all of you in the comments. Perhaps let me know your thoughts on the gemstone weapon modifiers and what you think is the best weapon loadout. In my opinion, rubies and emeralds are best for damage output, but maybe the aquamarine and jade critical bonus could be good too, and even the amethyst and topaz could be nice for a safer play. To quickly finish off here, we catch that slime jack that I mentioned earlier, and we're gonna head over to the sewers to see if we can clutch in the mutant carp real quick, see if we can get lucky, although probably not, but who knows. And unfortunately, it's not a legendary fish, it's just a regular carp. So we'll go ahead and catch it and end the video. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.